They're getting some breaking news in the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
There are some puzzling new developments tonight in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie.
This hour, because there's been a development in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
Nobody ever described it as a crime scene in the beginning. It was simply a backyard, quiet, ordinary, the kind of suburban space people walk past every day without thinking twice. Perfectly trimmed hedges lined the fence, fresh mulch darkened the soil, and a stone fountain stood proudly at the center like a symbol of calm domestic life. Nothing about Tomaso Chioni's property suggested danger. But on a quiet afternoon in April 2026, investigators didn't arrive with cameras or reporters. They arrived carrying ground-penetrating radar equipment. And 6 feet beneath that peaceful garden, they discovered something that changed the direction of the investigation forever. Stay with this story until the end, because what investigators uncovered reveals a reality far different from the one most headlines have described. By the time you finish watching, you may understand why Nancy Guthrie was never simply missing. Evidence suggests she may have been deliberately selected long before anyone realized she was gone. Nancy Guthrie lived a documented, structured life. She owned property, managed financial assets, and maintained a digital identity connected to biometric verification systems that controlled access to her accounts and legal estate. Then, without warning, she disappeared. At first, authorities treated it as a disappearance, another unresolved case waiting for answers. But the soil beneath that fountain told a different story. When forensic teams broke through the concrete base, they weren't searching for remains. They were tracking an anomaly detected below the surface, an irregular heat signature inconsistent with normal landscaping. What they uncovered wasn't human. It was technological. A waterproof encrypted storage system sealed inside reinforced casing designed to survive moisture, pressure, and time. This wasn't something buried in panic. It had been engineered. Inside the device, investigators found a complete digital profile tied to Nancy's identity biometric authentication records, financial credentials, estate documentation, and transaction logs. The discovery immediately shifted the investigation, because those records showed something deeply unsettling. Activity connected to Nancy's identity continued after she vanished. Financial analysts reviewing the data noticed transaction volume connected to her estate surged dramatically within 72 hours of her disappearance. Every authorization matched her biometric signature. From a systems perspective, Nancy Guthrie was still alive and approving transfers. Someone wasn't just using her accounts, someone was using her identity itself. Experts describe this method as a biometric bypass, exploiting stored biological authentication data to replicate a person's digital presence. It requires planning, access, and months of preparation. Investigators began to suspect that whoever created the buried system had entered Nancy's life long before she disappeared. The garden was not a hiding place. It was infrastructure. Records showed the soil disturbance occurred weeks before the fountain was installed. The landscaping appeared decorative, but forensic mapping indicated precise excavation consistent with intentional construction. Whoever placed that device expected it to remain hidden indefinitely. The excavation began quietly at exactly 2:22 p.m. No sirens, no public announcement. Just investigators methodically removing layers of earth while analysts monitored readings in real time. At 6 feet deep, they reached the reinforced container. And with it, the investigation changed from a search for a missing person into a suspected long-term financial operation. Yet one question remained unanswered. Where was Nancy herself? The evidence confirmed that her biometric data had been harvested without consent. Transfers began almost immediately after she vanished. Surveillance footage captured a figure matching her height and build near the garden late that same night. Vehicle GPS data linked to Cioni revealed a 58-minute signal blackout during the exact window investigators believe Nancy disappeared. 6 independent data points suggested planning. None confirmed her fate. The footage showed movement across the yard, a person carrying weight, a direct path toward the fountain area. But cameras never captured a clear face, and once the figure moved beyond the frame, the record ended. Investigators developed two primary theories. One suggests Nancy's physical location is tied to a secondary site concealed by the GPS blackout. The other proposes her disappearance was staged to support the financial operation, keeping her from reappearing and invalidating the transfers executed in her name. Both theories align with available evidence. Neither has been proven. Behavioral analysts began studying Chioni's actions during the investigation. While neighbors organized searches and media coverage intensified, witnesses reported he maintained an unusual level of composure. He continued routine yard maintenance, trimming hedges, and maintaining the property even as forensic teams examined it. In investigative psychology, extreme calm during escalating scrutiny can signal preparation rather than innocence. Analysts call it the architect mindset, a suspect confident every contingency has already been considered. Financial investigators soon uncovered motive. Nancy Guthrie's estate represented significant generational wealth. Documents recovered from the buried device suggested detailed mapping of her accounts, beneficiary structures, and legal access points. Each system had been studied, replicated, and ultimately accessed using her own biometric data. The underground server functioned as a physical node operating outside traditional digital monitoring. By avoiding cloud storage and external networks, whoever designed it minimized traceable online evidence. The only way to find it was physical excavation, literally digging for the truth. And that is exactly what investigators did. But despite recovering the device and tracing the financial activity, the most critical piece remains missing. Nancy Guthrie herself has not been located. No confirmed sighting, no verified communication. Only digital echoes continuing to move through systems designed to recognize her as present. The case now exists in an unsettling space between technology and reality. Evidence shows planning, access, and execution. Yet the human outcome remains unknown. Nancy Guthrie was not a case number or a financial asset. She was a person with a life, relationships, and a future interrupted without explanation. The recovered server proves someone invested extraordinary effort into controlling her identity. Whether that plan ends in financial fraud, concealment, or something far darker is still being determined. Investigators continue building their case piece by piece. The device is undergoing forensic analysis. Financial trails are expanding outward, revealing potential connections beyond a single property. Behavioral profiles are being reviewed alongside digital evidence as authorities attempt to reconstruct the timeline leading to her disappearance. What began as a quiet suburban mystery has evolved into a complex investigation involving technology, psychology, and motive intertwined. There is no final verdict yet, no closure. Only evidence pointing toward deliberate action and a woman still unaccounted for. And that is where this story stands tonight. Not with resolution, but with a question that remains unanswered. Will Nancy Guthrie receive justice? Or will the system built around her identity succeed in erasing her completely? Every investigation depends on attention. Every clue matters, and this case is far from over.